Good day, viewers. My name is Samuel Edmund John Norman, the founder of Norman's Agency International into accommodation for rent and sales, land for rent and sales, heavy mining and construction equipment for rent and sales, except um, currently we don't rent machines to miners, but if you want to buy, we give it to you due to the illegal mining activities and the spillage of mining waste into rivers and the destruction of the environment. So I am actually against such motion, and we've stopped renting machines to miners. Now, I am doing this property rent and sales business and saving money to be able to meet my future goals of building community factories with inbuilt digital libraries where people can do research at YouTube, Google, and others, so that they will apply this knowledge into reality. In the same way, apart from this community factory with inbuilt library, I also want to have an alongside an inbuilt community business incubation center or centers in all these factories, so that machines and materials will be put there for technical and vocational skill-based visionaries and also software engineers, those with technical, vocational, and IT knowledge can come and put their talent to work, produce prototypes so that we see how and what to do next. That is the concept. Now, when we talk of community factories, most people in Ghana have a contrary view, because to them, factories cannot be built in residential areas. But I'm here to challenge them that people in China and in North Korea have taken the lead in building factories within residential areas. That's China and North Korea. Now, I must also say that when I started school, that is my elementary or basic or primary school, I attended school at Anne's Preparatory and JHS, which is located at North Industrial Area. And we are close to Imesco Ghana Limited. Imesco Ghana Limited was a factory and at the same time an importer of rice from different countries. And we are also close to the current Kodesh or Lighthouse Chapel. Lighthouse Chapel at North Industrial Area, which is currently called Kodesh. And the current Kodesh was a factory. And the manager's daughter was then my classmate. Her name was Mavis Jemfua. Mavis Jemfua used to sleep in the factory on weekdays and go back to her actual residence on weekends, so that she can be able to come to school early, because our school, we are very particular about coming to school early. You usually give out numbers to those who come to school early, and those who are those who come to school late are punished. So we are very, very particular about coming to school early. Sometimes by 6 o'clock, you see people, even sometimes by 5 o'clock, people come all the way as far as Teshi. One of my close friend, uh, Nilai Ajeti Van Dyke, was then at Teshi, and she comes all the way to the school. He comes very early, like myself. I was then staying at my maternal grandfather's house at North Kanishin near Amangwa blocks. So I come all the way from that place to school. I take vehicle, Trotsky, and when we close, where the money that they've given us to take transportation, we normally save those money and walk our way through Swan Lake or Old Stop, and we will go and eat beans at Old Stop, walk through, and go home and save the money. Those days there was this Glamour. Glamour was a multi-store, and we save money, and at the end of the month, or at the end of the week, we go for shopping to buy things for ourselves. This is how we were living. And let me say that Ansi Preparatory School, our on adjacent our school was a factory, and behind us too was a factory, and there are residences close by. And all these factories did not pose health hazard to these residences. So factories can be built within residential areas, and not all factories actually. Factories that do not expel poisonous chemicals or air pollution, like textile factory, where we can have cotton converted to yarns or threads, and after converting them to threads, we can also have textile weaving factory within every residential area. And these textile factories cannot create health hazard or expel poisonous gases to the neighborhood. We can also have shoe factories. Just get the leather, either artificial or natural leather, and cut them to design sizes, and then sew them and glue some part, and we have shoes produced. These are the kind of factories we can create within our residential areas without creating health hazard to the community members. Apart from that, we can also create plastic sand blocks and bricks. Plastic sand blocks and bricks. I am currently at Dansuman, and Dansuman, where I teach at Samuel Edmund School, and downwards there is this Pambros River, and most of the residents have been able to drive this river back by filling them with sand. And because this Pambros River is salty, most of the houses that are have built their houses close by are affected with salt. So let's say from the foundation to, let's say, 4 course block laid, sometimes the salt eats or eats into the blocks, and you see the blocks. You see holes in the blocks. You see holes in the blocks. You can sometimes see into people's houses, the walls that they build. You can see through because the salt has eaten into the blocks. And this plastic sand block is the best solution to answer to solve these challenges, because the plastic will not allow the salt to what pass through, and they are good to go. Apart from that, you can also create agro dry food processing factory within the communities, especially Dansuma. Every community, we can do this factory where we have the raw food products from the farm. Then we convert them into powder. And let me say that I am as a first time teacher of St. Benedict's Subu School when I started with basic 4, 5, and 6 and JHS pupil, and I took the opportunity to teach them this um, um, food dry food processing skills. When we got to the graphic design side, where we are about to handle packaging or packaging designs and labeling, yes, packaging designs and label designs. I took it upon myself to instill this talent into their hands, and let me say that some of the parents learned from their words and started dry food processing businesses as well. We were able to produce fish powder, garlic powder, ginger powder, even snail powder, watermelon powder, cucumber powder, pear powder, apple powder, orange powder, cabbage powder, the salad leaf, lettuce powder. In fact, we produce almost everything, every agri products into powder, from meat to fish to vegetables and cereals, rice powder, beans powder, wheat powder. And I bought a blender to use for this assignment. We normally cut the raw agro materials into, or products into, smaller pieces. That is the especially the watery ones. We cut them into pieces and put them in a bowl, spread them in a bowl or a tray, a shallow tray, and cover it with a net so that germs and housefly will not be able to have access. And we have our school football field, and we're going to dry this from morning until there's no liquid content. Afterwards, we put them in a blender and grind them into powder. The only agric product that we couldn't convert to powder was granite, or what you call peanuts, because when we try grinding them into powder, it turns into a paste. So that's the only thing that we were trying to find solution to, until one of the students, I don't know what happened, broke the blender, and we had to stop this dry food processing and packaging assignments. Because apart from this, I intended to take them through how to extract oil from vegetables and the rest. You see, these are the things we can do within our community that will not create any or pose any health hazard to uh, any any humanity, or even animals. In fact, I have tried it before and it has worked, and it can work. So if you are an investor and your vision, your interest is into factories, just as I am also fighting for, you can call upon Norman CJS International on +233-271-686-762, and let's put our ideas together. Let's go to state housing company. I am Madam Suma, and I want something, a factory, community factory to start at Dansuma. See, you can listen. If you do the right thing, the right factory, that will not pose health hazard to anybody. Nobody, nothing can stop us. In fact, after last 2 years, I you know, in my estate agency business, I got an investor from US, and there's a land opposite my school, St. Benedict Tribute School, which is next to Kidiland. Kidiland School. Kidiland School is it's an early childhood school. Next to this Kidiland, there's a vast land opposite facing my school, which we try to get that land for factory usage. But we've tried. In fact, one first attempt, it has failed, until the investor even wanted to take me to the US. But as at that time, one of the things that brought a disagreement between us was the fact that as at that time, one of the requirements for you to travel out to US, you have to take the COVID-19 injection. And based on my personal research on the internet, and from some underground research that I did, I refused to take the COVID-19 injection. I am a natural plant medicine. I did a lot of studies in plant medicine, and one of my medicine that I know will protect me is bamboo leaves. Bamboo leaves handles chronic challenges. So during the COVID-19, this is one of the medicine that I normally go and plug the bamboo leaves and raw, in addition to moringa leaves and dandelion leaves. Boil these leaves together with a plant we call in Ghana. The trees call it aponchi abojise, or the Ghanaians call it tuchen. I uproot this grass, wash the roots, and add it together and boil and take to keep myself alive and shield me against any diseases. And as I now, I have not been affected by any COVID-19. Apart from that too, there's also another plant medicine or natural remedy that I use, which is organic honey mixed with turmeric oil plus a little of the powder and what you call cumin's seed powder and the oil. We also call it some people call it in the scientific it has a scientific name, Nigeria sativa, or popularly known as the black seed. I mix this together and take a spoon in the morning, a spoon in the evening to protect me from so many diseases. So go and read about honey and um, turmeric, honey mixed with turmeric, and when you finish, honey against honey plus uh, black seed powder or the cumin seed, and if I mix all these three together and consume, and I have been well up to now. I met people with that they claim people some friends warned me this person do you know that this person had COVID-19. I embraced them, we laugh. I never gave way to fear because I knew that with these plant medicines I am shielded. Yes. So we are back to the main point. In fact, so due to that, the person left and went abroad. But I know that I knew one day, in fact, later on, there was one of the COVID-19 drugs that they apologize for having released such a drug because of the kind of havoc that drug has created or affected to humanity. And I took the video and then this message and send it to the investor to see. A lot of people have also had developed black clot, and people have died after getting injected. So I saw all these things. I said, listen, I don't toy with my health. Therefore, when it gets to health, I don't compromise. I don't toy with my health. I don't allow anything to just enter my system anyhow until I am 100% sure. And now look at me. I am fit and sound. There are a lot of people in my school that are they go home for health issues and health challenges, but I'm so fit and fit. Working, I come very early in the morning. At 4 o'clock, sometimes I leave at 9, and yet still I come back very early and fit and strong. You see, that is it. So if you are an investor, come and let's put our heads together and let's do something. let's put our heads together and let's put something on the table. If even not within Dansoman, but other communities, fine, fine. Something must start somewhere. Yes, as I always say, a baby starts by crawling, then standing, then later on walking before running. Yes, so it's a step by step, and I know I'm a go-getter, and I will surely get there. The land opposite Dansoman, my school, Samuel Edmund School, some people are trying to discourage, but I will still pursue. See, some people claim that waterworks, their connection is there far. Listen, we can, if we really want to put the place in order, there can be diversion so that the place can be converted into a community factory, a state private partnership business, or what you normally call public private partnership factory. Yes, this is the only way factories can be sustainable. The government alone must not have a say. The private partner must also not have the 100% say. It must be from both sides. That is the only way factories can sustain. Otherwise, over the years, why is it that our state-owned factories have collapsed? Because we attach politics into this business when it is when they see that it is backed by a private company, people normally get serious. People also, when they see that this factory is a public establishment, they have this kind of lazy attitude towards work. They can come to the work at any time they like, leave at any time they like. That is one of the root cause of the downfall of Ghana Telecom. That had, because sometimes you go there, and before then our phones were analog. Sometimes you have to leave when you have a problem. You have asked permission from work. You to go and solve this problem. You go and sit there from morning to evening, and they will tell you go and come back again. The people who are supposed to solve your problem, they've gone for field work or whatsoever. Then in fact, you go and come back another time, and then your boss will not give you permission to go again. These were some of the things that they were doing that were drifting customers away until um, uh, space to space came into the scene. Who introduced? Space to space came into the scene. Before then, there was uh, Mobitel. Mobitel came into the scene, but they were not that vibrant until space to space came into the scene, and they introduced the mobile phone, and people started migrating, running to mobile phone. Then Ghana Telecom again have to rebrand to One Touch. They also introduced mobile phones and the rest, and things started changing until still they were not pulling their weight well, until they have to sell the company to Vodafone. So these are the kind of attitudes we have. So we see when Vodafone took office or took the mantle from Ghana Telecom and One Touch, they have to dismiss or lay off most of the workers who are not barely contributing anything to the growth of the company. Because in every establishment, whether you're in public or private, you have they've given you a target to meet. What have you contributed to the growth of the company? So these people who have not contributed anything to the growth of the company, but are being paid were laid off. That is how what Ghana needs. You don't just have to come and sit in a company. You're not contributing anything to the growth of the company. You are being paid. That is a robbery. It doesn't make sense. You can't go to a white man's country and go and be doing these things. No. That is why I want to build factories, community factories, and in fact, and we have to put our heads together and make sure that the communities are working. Why? Because unemployment is the blood of every nation. Without employment, why would armed robbery? Why should we complain about armed robbery? Why should we complain? Why should we point finger at the armed robbers? Why should we point finger at the prostitutes? Should we point finger at drug pushers and social deviants? Who created the mess in the system in the first place? We must always sit down and ask ourselves. When we fail to create jobs and the people are unemployed and are idle, the devil will find job for the idle hands. They will start stealing. The ladies will start prostitution, and nowadays they are into hookups because they need money to survive. That is the gospel truth. So we must all put our hands on deck and make sure that jobs are created as much as possible. Otherwise, in fact, now this evening, most of the young boys and girls, they no longer want to come out and start stealing. They are engaged in fraud. We have men and women, boys and girls who are fraudsters. So it's not only the men or the boys. Now the girls and the women are also fraudsters. A lot of people have tried me several times through Facebook, YouTube, and Gmail. In fact, they can't scam me because I have been to cafes and I've seen how scammers can change, can go to a website, acquire foreign numbers, and they will call you, and you think the number, they will call you right here in Ghana. You think the number is the person is in abroad. And there's also, they also go to some website and then they use artificial intelligence. The person at the other side will see him as a lady or a woman. The person will ask a question. They'll be chatting live video, but the other person at the other side will see the fraudster as a lady or as a woman. Every action that the person wants to do, the artificial intelligence will do that action. and they will get money from the white men. These were the kind of frosters that in fact, I went to cafe to go and design a project. As at that time, Colorado uh, was in vogue, and I saw it live. I've seen it before. So these scammers who come and try to scam me on Facebook, YouTube, and the rest, I always tell them, give me your WhatsApp number and let's come to WhatsApp and do live WhatsApp video call. And let's see something. You know, I'm an artist. So if you come online, you even dress up, you're a man, you dress up as a woman. I will see you because I deal with portrait painting. I paint human portrait, people's faces. If I see a man, I know you're a man. If I see a woman, I know you're a woman. If I know if I see an imposter, I will know. See, these are the things. So as I told you, the North Koreans have taken the lead in the residential factories. Now, this is now look at the search that I made. Residential factories in North Korea. Look at the ones that we have here. We have Tesla factories. As I told you, we can do great Tesla factories within our residential areas that will not create any health hazards to any body. Now look at this one too. CNN visits a North Korean industrial zone. Now this is a North Korean factory, and they are into shoes. As you can see, look at the factory, shoe factory. So we can also create shoes within our community or residential areas. See, you don't always have to wait for the white man to take the risk and do before we follow. See, we can also use common sense and wisdom to also outsmart them. People have built um, fueling stations within residential areas where you have adjacent and behind them, left and right, you have people's houses, and nobody is complaining about that one. This highly risky initiative, and you have given them authorization. Now, look at this one too. I have also typed residential factories in China. Now, look at what the kind of answers. This is Google. Now, look at the results from Google. They say, while I want us to read it together. While the idea of residential factories might sound unusual, some Chinese factories, particularly in regions like Guangdong Province, including cities like Shenzhen and Dongguan, have a high, let me repeat, have a high concentration of workers who essentially live and work on site. So you see the people live and work on site without any health hazard because they have been able to manage, find remedies to prohibit or hinder the negative effects of these factories from affecting the lives of humanity and animals and even the even plants as well. Now, say here's a more detailed explanation. Factory-owned housing. Some factories in China, especially those in manufacturing hubs, have built or arranged for housing for their employees, creating a situation where workers live and work within the same complex or nearby. You see, you don't need to argue with wisdom. Reasons for factory-owned housing. Now we are giving you the reasons why these kind of residential factories or factories within residential areas came into being. Labor shortages. In some regions, the demand for factory workers is high, and providing housing can attract and retain workers, especially those from rural areas. So those who are far away, they've seen that in order to attract the workers or to motivate them, they decided to build houses within these factories or close by, so that instead of the people coming all the way from the villages and the rest, they will come and sleep there and maybe go on weekends and that kind of stuff, or they can go home during holidays. You see, that is it. Now look at another thing. Cost effective. For some companies, providing housing can be more cost effective than paying high wages or dealing with the challenges of workers commuting long distances. So they are thinking about the workers in and out transportation. So they provided, you see, this is what we should be thinking about. So when we create the factories within the communities or within the residential areas, people's frequent transportation will be reduced, and they will save this money for other purposes. Now, we also have another reason. He said control and discipline. Factory-owned housing can allow for greater control over workers, including their work hours and behavior. Yes, when you see that when they have these houses within, or they build these houses, they build these factories within the communities, their working hours will be checked because they will come to work on time. You see, these are the reasons. In fact, we can do all these things. So please, let us do this with great urgency. With great urgency, because nowadays, armed robbery still keeps on increasing, or theft cases keep on increasing, cyber fraud keep on increasing in the name of scam. You have malamtia, you have online lotto, Facebook lotto, and the rest. All these are frauds. Others also send links, free giveaway links. All these are fake and fraud. I always, whenever I see people sending this to groups, I always tell them, please, this is fraud. Don't remove it from the WhatsApp group, because these are all scammers channel or doorways to hack into people's accounts. See, these are the things. So far, you can go and make your research yourself, and you will see what I'm talking about. Let us all help in creating employment channels or avenues within our communities, so that in fact, when we do these things, when we do these things, court cases will become a past perfect tense. Police arrests will reduce in terms of fraud, so that the communities will become a safe haven for everybody. That is what we are looking for. So thank you very much for listening, and we will meet again. As I said, if you are an investor, you want to or you are a government establishment, whether an MP or in fact maybe the president of Ghana, you can also invite me, and we see the way forward. Or even the land opposite St. Benedict Civil School, if not all, I mean my alma mater, University of Education Winneba. One of my vision is to bring University of Education Winneba distance learning to Dansoman. The land is available there. University of Education Winneba is also a government establishment. We can send them there to take that land and build Accra distance learning at Dansoman, so that the neighboring teachers can, who do not have degrees, can start their bachelor's degree and continue to master's degree, continue to their doctorate degree, and also and those who also want to go further will become professors. You see, that is it. And all these things will also mean that more the aspiring employees who have submitted their letters and currently praying for employment at the universities who are in Accra will also get jobs doing. See, that is how we do the game. I'm currently working, pressing on the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission to also release the embargo that is placed on the tertiary schools, stopping them from undertaking distance learning in senior high schools and basic schools, so that the universities can have their way. We all attended universities. We shouldn't be fighting our lecturers. You see, thank you very much for listening. I draw the curtains down at this very moment.